Clerk, call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3. J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4. Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation today will be delivered by Associate Pastor Michael S. Camilla from the Bethesda Community Church. Thank you very much for coming out. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges.
Let's pray together. God of justice and mercy, once again we thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve your people of this great city. God, would you help us to act with character and conviction? God, would you help us to listen with understanding and with goodwill today? God, help us to speak with kindness and with restraint. Give us the spirit of service, Lord, and remind us that we're stewards of your authority. So we need your wisdom and your guidance to be the leaders that your people need. God, help us to see the humanity and dignity even with those that we disagree with. And Lord, help us to treat all of your creation, Lord, no matter what background or race, with the dignity and respect that each and every person deserves. And God, I pray that you would bless each and every one of these leaders in this room today. God, renew us with the strength of your presence and give us your grace and your mercy and your love. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Pastor, for coming out today. Agenda announcements, Mr. Manius.
Thank you. Members of the court, we have 5 announcements as it relates to the agenda this morning. Under the County Administrator section, item 8A1, we're going to remove that from the agenda. It was actually approved last week. On page 3 of the agenda, under Criminal District Attorney, item 8C1, there is a revised agreement in your red folder this morning. Under Purchasing, item 8H1, this is the sale of recycled paper. We're going to hold that particular item. Also under Purchasing, item 8H5, this is bid number 2016-121. We're also going to hold that particular item. And then finally, members of the court, there will not be a need for us to go into closed session today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of October the 25th.
Move approval.
Second. Have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We have a couple of congratulatory resolutions. Commissioner Wynn.
Yes, Your Honor, fellow commissioners. This morning we have the honor of welcoming several superstars from the Arlington School District, namely Trustee John Hibbs, Trustee Jamie Solon, President, and I'm sorry, I do not remember your name. Leslie Johnson, who coordinates governmental affairs and public relations, and Dr. Cavazzo, the Superintendent of the Year. And we would like to congratulate you and to honor you for your service to all communities and to all families, and more importantly, to our children. So, Your Honor, if you don't mind, please read the resolution into the record, please.
Congratulatory resolution, Dr. Marcelo Cavazos, Texas Superintendent of the Year. Whereas Dr. Cavazos began his teaching career as an English teacher in the Mission Consolidated ISD in 1990, and then taught English and government in McAllen ISD, and whereas in 1993, Dr. Cavazos served as a secondary language arts supervisor for Mercedes ISD, then became associate advisor for San Benito Consolidated ISD in 1995, and in 1998 worked for the Texas Education Agency Department of School and Finance and Support before joining Arlington Independent School District in 1999. And whereas Dr. Cavazos has served as superintendent for the past 3.5 years of his 16 years with AISD, and before that served as associate superintendent for instruction, deputy superintendent, and interim superintendent. And whereas since his becoming superintendent, AISD is recognized for having unique opportunities for students of all backgrounds, including AISD's collegiate high schools in Tarrant County College Southeast, guaranteed college early admission programs, technical and fine art dual credit programs, AISD police and fire academies, STEM academy, and more. And whereas Dr. Cavazos believes that improvement is the only non-negotiable, and that education is the great equalizer for students. And whereas Dr. Cavazos was named Superintendent of the Year for Texas by the Texas Association of School Boards, that honors outstanding Texas administrators for achievement and excellent in public school administration. And whereas the Arlington Independent School District is fortunate to have a leader like Dr. Cavazos who is dedicated to making a difference in the lives of children and public education, now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby congratulate Dr. Marcelo Cavazos as being named the Texas Superintendent of the Year. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this first day of November 2016.
I move for its approval.
Second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
I would like to invite Dr. Cavazos, Trustee Solon, Trustee Hibbs to come up and take a picture with us, and then you will have an opportunity to make some comments.
Keep coming forward. Just a few times.
Works better when you turn it on.
Well, we thought we had a train, but
That camera is in retirement mode.
Low bid meeting county specs.
go ahead and you're welcome to make some comments. Thanks again. Congratulations.
Commissioner Nguyen, the commissioners, Judge, thank you so much for the opportunity to receive this resolution. It is a humbling honor that really demonstrates and represents the work that's done in Arlington ISD every single day by our teachers, our staff, principals, and so many people that work. Over 8,000 people work in Arlington ISD, over 60,000 students. And this is a demonstration of their work and their commitment to excellence, excellence for our public school students. I want to take a moment to also thank our school board. That is an exceptional school board that allows the vision of AISD to really permeate throughout the organization. Again, I'm humbled by the recognition that I've received. I gladly accept it if it inspires a young person to do better, inspires a young person to reach higher, and to aim for that goal that they're dreaming of. And I truly believe, Judge, as you read, that education is the great equalizer, continues to be in our great country, the great equalizer. And I would challenge also that it continues to be the greatest force for peace, peace in our country and around the world. is an outstanding education that we're providing in Arlington ISD. So thank you so much for the recognition.
Thank you.
Dr. Cavazos, I want to make a quick comment. I knew you before you were superintendent, and after you became superintendent, you are still the same person. You have a heart of a servant. You think outside the box, and you are at your best when you are at the grassroots level of the school district. And you have always demonstrated to me what a servant should be. I congratulate you, but I want to caution you, don't let the glory get into your head. Okay? Continue to be who you are. Continue to be a servant. And in doing so, you will be a shining example for us public servants. Thank you.
Thanks again. Congratulations again. Commissioner Wynn, I believe you have another resolution.
Yes, sir. Over the weekend, I had the honor of representing this Commissioners Court to present a congratulatory resolution to Hong Kong Supermarket that has been in business for 30 years, serving our ethnic minority communities in Arlington and in the Fort Worth area. So it's only for ratification, so I move for its ratification.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. It's now that favorite time of the month where we get to recognize some of our employees who do just absolutely fantastic work for our county and are celebrating 5, 10, 15, as much as 30 years in this particular month of service. So as I call your name, or what sounds like your name, please, most of these folks know how to follow the alphabet, so they kind of know where they're supposed to be in the process, even if it doesn't sound like that. So please rise when I call your name. Remain standing until all of that particular group has been recognized, and then we'll move to the next group. Our 5-year employees: Gerald Anderson with the Criminal District Attorney's Office, Chance Janez, Sheriff's Department. So you don't see him either. Oh, there he is. I'm sorry. How should have I pronounced it? Jansen. I thought that, but I thought, because I have a good friend named Jansen, but it's not spelled quite that way. Maria Salazar, County Clerk's Office. There you go.
Yeah.
Cajetan Way, Public Health. Please be here. Tara Wilson, Medical Examiner's Office. Thank your mother for naming you something that's very easy for me to pronounce. These are our 5-year employees. Let's give them a hand. Thank you. Y'all can be seated now. Our 10-year employees: Maria Barks, Constable Precinct 7. Hope Cruz, Domestic Relations Office. Yolanda Garza, District Clerk's Office. Maria Gonzalez, Tax Office. John Hernandez, Sheriff's Department. Ashley Martineau, Juvenile Services. Okay, how badly did I do? Yeah, I was close. Yeah, I was just real close on that one. Donna McClung, Elections Department. Glenda Redeemer, Public Health Department. Maria Rene, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 5.
Cifuentes.
Bobby Cifuentes, Sheriff's Department.
That's right.
I was going to test you because I'm not quite sure that that's totally correct, but who am I to guess? Sandy Taylor, Facilities Management. These are our 10-year employees. Now for our 15-year employees: Cedric Bailey, the Sheriff's Department. Andy Bryant, Information Technology. Melcher Gonzalez Jr., Constable Precinct 2. Lakeisha Luster, Sheriff's Department. T. Wynn, I got a feeling the is T. Wynn here?
You don't have to say that name.
I got the Wynn down. But I'm guessing that if the T wasn't with a period after it, that it would have been a name I probably couldn't have pronounced.
It's T.
It is T.
It's T-H-I, right? Taylor.
Well, I could have done Taylor. I've got a granddaughter named Taylor. I got that one down. Catherine Simpson, Criminal District Attorney's Office. LaShonda Smith, Sheriff's Department. Jeanette Taylor, Sheriff's Department. See, I did all right on that, Taylor. Daniel Thompson, Auditor's Office. And Jeff Williams, Information Technology. Let's give these employees a round. Thank y'all. Next, our 20-year employees, Christine Avalar, or Alver. Oh. Yeah, that's it. Domestic Relations. Monica Andrus, Jury Administration, back there in the back. Paul Bell, Sheriff's Department. Brian Berman, Sheriff's Department. Delisha Cunningham, District Clerk's Office. Joel De Los Santos, Sheriff's Department. Carmelia Flores, Sheriff's Department. Cheryl Hardy, Criminal Court Number 7. You don't look like Cheryl Hardy.
Cheryl?
Tell her she's grown a lot. Brad Hearn, Community Development. We haven't had a stand-in before. Sonia King, Sheriff's Department. Jesus Reyes. I would like to see a show of hands, not up here, but out there, who would like to see this responsibility rotated on a monthly basis. Come on. Don't say a word, Wilder. Don't say a word. Go get some cookies. Christine Smith, the tax office. You felt relatively sure that I might be able to get your name out there, didn't you? Monique Thompson, Criminal District Attorney's Office. There she is. And Sheila Wynn, Criminal Courts Administration. These are the 20-year folks. They usually have some phonetic spelling, and I'm saying that as much for you as I are for them folks back in the office who didn't put any phonetic spelling. Not that I do real well with phonetics either, but for our 25 and 30-year employees, we're going to recognize them, and I'm going to ask each one of them to stand up, and we've had a little conversation. It was a recent little conversation, like yesterday, but I really enjoy having an opportunity to talk with these folks. To be honest, we used to do the 20, but thankfully, you folks stay with the county. And that's good because you've got that continuity. You love and are dedicated to public service. But we'd be here till about noon just doing employee recognition if we included the 20-year. I mean, it has really grown in recent years. So our first 25-year employee is Debbie Brown with Jury Services. Where's Debbie? There's Debbie back in the back. She started in Jury Services, has been there ever since. Started off answering the phones, and now she's the backup to the boss. Has been here for 25 years. She said the most memorable moments are all the excuses that she's heard people say. And she says there have been a ton of them. She loves the people that she's had a chance to work with. She said, you know, the vast majority of the people I have a chance to interact with are friendly. The vast majority. Not everybody. By the end, you know, she says a lot of people come in and they're not real sure about this experience, but usually by the end of the experience, they've changed their attitude and they understand the importance of what they're doing. She said time has gone by real quick. She said she has 2 kids that are grown, and both of them have a child, and they were born within 14 days of one another. A boy and a girl. So they're both 7 years old right now, and you having 3 granddaughters that are within 4 months of one another. They play together most of the time very well. Emphasis on most of the time. She said work is great, and she said it has just been such an experience that through the 25 years I've had just such great bosses that have kind of led the jury services. Debbie, thank you very, very much for your service to Tarrant County. Next is Michelle Gattika, and she is in sheriff confinement. Started off in the administration area as a clerk and then moved into booking and then back to the administrative offices. She said, you know, the county is like a big family, and she has enjoyed everybody that she's had a chance to work with. But she said, again, when you talk about a family, it's people who come around you and support you. And she said, they couldn't have been more helpful when she lost her husband to cancer, and it was something that just meant the world to her. She said, I love the supervisors that I've had a chance to work with. She said, you know, these 25 years have really flown by. Michelle, thank you very, very much for your service. Next is Cindy Grubb, 141st District Court. Started in the jury room with Debbie. Was there for 10 years, then became an auxiliary coordinator, and then moved to the 141st District as court coordinator in the District Court. When she talks about memorable moments, she said most of them came from the jury room. And she said, before I went there, I didn't necessarily believe, but now I definitely believe in the full moon theory. She said she saw some pretty strange things. She mentioned that some famous jurors that had come through there from time to time were Terry Bradshaw, Kenny Rogers, the pitcher, not the singer, Rafael Pomero, and then some guy from Northern Exposure. I don't remember who it was either, but it was somebody from Northern Exposure. She said, I love the people that I've had a chance to work with, the security of working with the county, and the fact that, you know, the county had planned enough so that when times get tough or when things went down, that we really didn't have to lay off or furlough anyone. She said the time again had really flown by. She too, you know, really enjoyed her time, which Linda Davis was the jury person at that point, and she really enjoyed working for her. She has grandkids. She has 3, a boy 17 who's here in Texas, an 11-year-old girl and a 13-year-old boy that are in California, and she was quick to say they're dancing, that they love to dance. She had a boy and girl twin. So, you know, there's that special relationship there. You know, when looking back over the last one, she said her father had passed away in January, and I know that this year's difficult as a result of that. But having lost parents, you know, at this time, at least with time, it gets a little bit easier. But we really want to thank you, Cindy, for your 25 years of service. Next is Russell Holland. He wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to make it today. He's with the Sheriff's Department in the Courtesy Patrol area. I get more comments from folks, whether it be in grocery stores, at church, or whatever, about the assistance that they get on the roads, on our major highways, as a result of that courtesy patrol. So you folks see Russell, please tell him how much we appreciate the 25 years of service he's given to Tarrant County. Next is Trudy Carley, and she's with Information Technology. There she is. She started out in the audit area in payroll, then moved to HR when the ASP or SAP system came in. It could be ASP too. And has been on that project team. She's now the supervisor over, or she was the supervisor over the HR division. But in the last 5 years, in fact in April of 2012, she moved to IT, basically to act as the SAP support for payroll, HR, as well as other areas of the program. The program has got tremendous potential. We need folks who continually can help us look at it and see things that we might not be doing that we could be doing. And, Trudy is helping us do that. She, when I asked her about memorable moments, she said it's been the 2 computer conversions. And that those have been, major undertakings, and that she's had a chance to work with that. When she first came to the county, she was actually having to share a computer with someone else. She was in the support area, or in the payroll area, but it was 36. What it was, IBM, one of the old IBM 36s. It was a terminal. It wasn't a PC. It was just a terminal all in one. And they all hooked back up to some big room that the mainframe, which we're still trying to get rid of. When I asked her what she liked most, it was being able to help the employees of Tarrant County, basically work with them to make life decisions, just doing things that, the benefits and the security of the county. She said all the people she's had a chance to work with, she's really enjoyed. Time's gone by really fast. There's been a lot of opportunities given to her. And she said, she hopes to be here at least another 10 years. Her daughter works in transportation. Jessica used to work in GK's office, was successful at getting out of there, and moved into transportation. And her son is going to Midwestern up in Wichita Falls. Trudy, thank you very, very much for your time. Next is Pam Musgrove, Sheriff Warrants. There's Pam. Started in the old Belknap jail, then went to Warrants and has been there for the last 18 years. She originally went to the Warrants Department on loan, but she just loves it there. She said, I love the people I have a chance to work with, the ability of learning different things, and the opportunity to work in different areas. Like so many, she said that time has really flown by. In the last 5 years, she's got promoted to supervisor about 4 years ago. And she says, I love traveling, and I've had an opportunity recently to travel a lot. I think she said she was getting ready to head for Hawaii. Pam, we appreciate very much the 25 years of service you've been in Tarrant County. Next is Judge Phil Sorrells. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to make it today. He's in the middle of a case, and he said he didn't think he'd be able to make it. He's been here 25 years. He ran for judge when I was running for commissioner. And so I said, how did you get? And then he said, well, I was with the DA's office before that. And so he's got a little bit of time on me. But tell Judge Sorrells that we appreciate his 25 years of service when you see him next. Next is Judge Judith Wells. There she is. Started out as an associate judge and was appointed by Judge O'Reilly, not the one on TV. Was there for about 3 years and then ran for judge when she decided not to run for re-election. The most memorable moments were, as with many people, one, the shootings that occurred, and that's, it's a memory that sticks with you. But also moving into the new building. She's in the family law facility. When I asked her what she likes most, and I think it has a lot to do with Fort Worth as well as Tarrant County, she said even though it's a big organization, it doesn't feel that way. I think everybody really does try to make it a family time. She said everyone's approachable. No one feels that they're, got too big of a head, as you mentioned to Dr. Cavazos. It is a big family, and the fact that we have a chance to impact lives in whatever area you're working in, whether it be in the jail or whether it be in the courts, we have an opportunity to impact the lives of the people that we get to see. I asked her what had happened over the last 5 years, and sadly she said, I've lost a couple of bailiffs. A couple of the bailiffs have passed away. And she said, but the county is still just an absolutely fantastic place to work. Judge Wells, it is because of people like you. Thank you very much. Next is John White, Sheriff's Courts. There's John. I started in the Cold Springs area, then moved into the courts, spent some time in patrol, worked in warrants and extradition, and is now in the courts out in the juvenile area. He said, when I asked him about memorable moments, he said, most everything has been pretty pleasant. He said, the one thing, first week on the job, one of the inmates has an asthma attack and stops breathing. And John brings him back. He knows what to do. He's there. And, he just does what he's expected to do and doesn't want a whole lot of credit for it. He said, I love the fact that everybody gets along. He has a total of 4 kids. They're 19, 17, 16, and 10. I told him he's going to be working for a long time because he's just on. Well, he may have already hit the first one through college or first one starting college, but he could have at least 3. And based upon some of mine, he could have all 4 of them in school at the same time. What I detected most was the positive attitude, and he just kind of ended about life is good. And I think that speaks volumes. John, thank you very much for the 25 years of service. Now, next on my list, because if I don't follow my list, my helpers up here starts passing me little notes. Ed Wiseman is on vacation and is not going to be able to make it. I talked with him and he apologized, but he's had 25 years with the county and the sheriff's department, and when you see Edwin again, please tell him thank you. Next is Helen Ferris, 30 years of service. She started out in the mailroom for about 6 weeks, then went to the county court at law in December, and was basically filling in, or was the new filing clerk. She's now the supervisor for all the county court at law clerks. When I asked her about the memorable moments, it's when everything changed from writing everything by hand to using the computers. She says, I love getting the opportunity to work in the old courthouse, the people that I've had a chance to work with. She said, I just love working in Tarrant County. When I asked her kind of what had happened over the last 5 years, e-filing was one of the things that came up when everybody was required to go to e-filing. And she said, they're talking about paperless. And she said, that's going to be interesting. Her mom passed during this last 5 years, so I know that folks helped you and supported through that. She said, it's her and 2 dogs now. She has a lot of nieces and nephews, though, that take up her time. And she says, I just absolutely love the people that I've had a chance to work with. Helen, thank you very much for your 30 years. Next was Rachel Martinez, the county criminal court coordinator for 3. She's been with us 30 years, but she also wasn't going to be able to make it today. So If you see Rachel, please tell her thank you for her years of service. Next is Chevron Pollard, 30 years of service. She started in probate court number 2 at the age of 18. She worked briefly for the auditor, then came back, and she's now the court coordinator for the associate judge in that court. She said, "I have absolutely loved the people that I've had a chance to work with. Everyone's like family." She said the benefits have been good. She said, and I just love Judge Furchel. Now you've got a new, and I saw Judge Allen stand up. Our new probate court number 2 judge. She said her grandmother, Cleo Pierce, worked for the county for over 20 years, and that Charlotte, who she works with, her grandmother, and Judge Furchel were basically real inspirations and mentors to her as she was growing up. She has 2 children who live in Colorado and has a grandson, Jackson, who will be 2 in December. And I think that's someone that really, she lights up when you talk about Jackson. Chevron, we appreciate very much the 30 years of service you did. Sherry Willard is the last of our employees. She is out and not able to be here today, and she spent 30 years with Tarrant County. So think about Sherry and thank her when you next see her. So it's a total of 935 years of service, and that is absolutely fantastic. And we want to again thank you and tell you how much we appreciate, but really how much of the character of Tarrant County is caused and created by your dedication to public service and to the people you have an opportunity to interact with on a daily basis. Thank you very much. There's refreshments in 504C. I see that, Robin. It's just you go back and forth. There might be refreshments over there too, but and Wilder's over here, so there's a chance that there's still refreshments over there. So again, thank you. Let's give everybody a big hand.
Good job. You make it fun.
Well,
that's the key.
I would move approval of receive and file the employee recognition.
Second.
Please vote. Motion passes. You have before you the consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion is second to approve the consent agenda. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manning?
Your Honor, we do not, all of our items.
I'm sorry.
are consent.
Criminal
Next would be the
district
criminal
attorney.
Yes.
district attorney.
Okay, so our item on the agenda is the lease for our legislative liaison who'll be in Austin for the legislative session. And let me tell you a little bit about that position. Since 1995, the DA's office, under Tim's leadership and consistently since then, our office has sent a lawyer down to Austin for the, did you want to ask me something? For the session, not as a lobbyist, but as a resource on criminal law. And it's really been a very effective position because that person is down there as the representatives and senators have questions and their staff have questions about the particular bills that are in front of them. That person also works with the Texas District and County Attorneys Association. And we've had several people whose names you'll know who've been the legislative liaison in the past. J.D. Granger was when he was a prosecutor in our office. Brian Epps was the last 2 sessions. And then Daryl Davila, who was down there and then stayed down there. We hope not to lose our lawyer this year. We always send a regular felony trial lawyer because they understand the issues that are before them. Today, we are asking you to approve the lease for the person who will be down there at the session. The change in the lease today is that it will be paid monthly and not in a lump sum, thankfully. And our person that we're sending this year is Vincent Giardino. He's here. And you may recognize him because he actually was a tuition reimbursement student for the county, because after he worked the campaigns and things in college, he went to work as a court coordinator with Judge Neekum. And while he was there, he did tuition reimbursement and finished law school, and then was hired in the DA's office. He's now one of our good felony attorneys, and he'll be spending the session. He's already started meeting all the legislators in our area, and he'll be spending the session down there. So I just wanted you to meet him, Vince. And do y'all have any questions of us?
What have we done on this before and previously? Where have we rented an apartment? I know, the reason I'm asking, because I know in Mark's situation, we actually just bought a condo.
This is for 5 months only, right?
Right, it's only for the session, and apparently at some point they actually did hotels, and that's not cost effective. So we've gotten a really good rate on this, and this has turned out to be one of the most cost effective ways is to actually get an apartment for that limited period of time.
And you have this
For
money,
about 3 sessions.
you have this money in your budget.
Yes,
Move approval. Second.
thank you.
We have motion and second. Any further discussion?
Do you would hold parties there? No parties? Okay. Just want to make sure.
No commissioners access.
Yeah, that probably does need to be noted in Mendez's apartment or in the county's apartment. I guess GK and Mark are the only ones that probably use that facility.
There's never been a party there when I've been there.
That goes without saying.
Absolutely.
That's true. We work all the time when we're down there.
Yeah, right.
Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Move to receive and file personnel agenda.
Second.
We have motion and second to receive and file the personnel agenda. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Good
How is,
Thank you.
how's Tina? Is Tina?
Is Tina okay?
Come on down, Mr. Beecham.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have now 4 items for your consideration this morning. If we can skip to item number 2, which is a bid award recommendation for RFP 2016-213, RFP for specialized treatment services for some juveniles. Recommendation will be toward Linda Bailey in the amount of $25,000. If you choose to approve this, we're seeking contract approval also.
Move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our item number 3 is also a bid award recommendation for RFP 2016-214, RFP for hair testing supplies, laboratory confirmation testing services for CSCD. Recommendation be toward Omega Laboratories per the terms of the contract.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 4 is an item in regards to competitive seal proposal 2016-219. It's a CSP for the Tarrant County Corrections Center Level 1 renovation project. We are seeking permission to conduct negotiations first with Imperial Construction. If that works, we won't need to go any further to talk to JC Commercial.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And if we can skip to item number 6, which will be our last item. It's an item in regards to RFP 2016-203. This was our annual contract for the mainframe transformation program. We are recommending rejection of all proposals and seeking permission to reissue with revised specifications and conduct a mandatory pre-proposal contract. We received 3 proposals. One vendor did not sign the addendum. Second one was $884,000 above the budget, and the third proposal that was received was $5 million above that proposal budget amount.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Appointments today, court members.
I have 2 to our Blue Ribbon Committee at JPS. I have Mark Berry and Scott Fisher. And I've included resumes.
And I'd like to add one, Stephen L. Simmons.
Second.
And I'll have my other one as soon as we chase the lady down. She's been on vacation.
And I'm gonna, would like to nominate D. Kelly Jr. So we have Mark Berry, Steve Simmons, Scott Fisher, and D. Kelly.
Junior.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Your Honor, I have some TIF appointments. TIF 3, Roy C. Brooks. TIF 8, Roy C. Brooks. TIF 12, Roderick Miles, Jr.
And I have 4 I'd like to add to that list.
Okay.
TIF 4, Steve Townsend. TIF 6, Steve Townsend. Steve 9, J.D. Johnson. TIF 15, Steve Townsend.
Okay. Do we have a motion and a second? Okay.
I'll
Okay.
second.
So I'll move and he'll second for those other ones that just came through. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Here's my list.
No other appointments. Then you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manning?
Your Honor, we don't have a briefing item, but let me ask the DA's office real quick about an item. On the appointments, we had 2 different motions and 2 different seconds. And so, do we need 2 different votes, or can that one vote suffice for both?
Preferences.
Understand, but did we take 2 votes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you.
No problem.
Your Honor, we do not have anything this morning.
Okay, there being no close, there being no further business, then this meeting is adjourned.
Cool beans.